So yesterday morning, Sheffield Wednesday have appointed their fourth manager of the season, Darren Moore. Would he save Sheffield Wednesday with 14 games left of the season, or would he even survive that long? Let's talk about my reaction to the news in today's video. What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Another shorter video today, but I just want to give you guys my overall reaction to Darren Moore coming in, because this news really took me by surprise, and I think it took everyone by surprise really. By that time I already finished editing and uploading my championship review, but it's been confirmed by Sheffield Wednesday that they've appointed their fourth manager of the season, Darren Moore. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to unravel everything that's happened with Sheffield Wednesday, and there's a lot to unravel, let me tell you. And I'm going to tell you my overall reaction and then whether it's the right appointment. But if you guys like what you see, as always, please make sure you do give this video a like. It tremendously helps the channel. And please subscribe if you're new around here. It really helps the channel. We're trying to push to 500 subscribers as soon as we can. Please share the channel to as many people as you can as well. All that would really make my day. But with all of that out of the way, now let's talk about Sheffield Wednesday. So Sheffield Wednesday this season, I've got to be honest with you, I knew from immediately the first bit of news they got about their points deduction that Sheffield Wednesday were going to have a car crash of a season. Whether it was them fighting relegation or whether it's just with the off-the-field issues, it was not going to be a smooth ride in Hillsborough. So the season starts off in the worst possible way for Sheffield Wednesday, because they were handed a 12-point deduction, breaching financial fair play rules following the sale of Hillsborough. Now, a lot of that is down to Shansiri's spending with Sheffield Wednesday. This is now, I think, his 6th season, if I counted correctly, with Sheffield Wednesday now. Shansiri was appointed by Sheffield Wednesday in 2015 after the 2014-15 season, where Sheffield Wednesday achieved their highest league position since getting promoted back from League One in their first couple of seasons back in the Championship. Shansiri was given a mission. He wanted Sheffield Wednesday in the Premier League, and to do that, he spent obscene amounts of money. For example, these are notable transfers that Shansiri has made in his first full season as the new owner for Sheffield Wednesday. £4.12 million for Fernando Forestieri. He also spent money on Gary Hooper, 3.5 million there, 3.1 million for Marco Matias as well, and Lucas João, who of course we know a little bit more of today, with 2.78 million. And in total, that's a total of 15 million. And if you consider the income they got from that, they have an overall bank balance of a 14.1 million loss. Now, following this loss, it got Sheffield Wednesday into a top 6 place, and they made it to the playoff final in that season as well. So it looked like that immediately from a new owner, Sheffield Wednesday were going to turn into a Premier League side, but they couldn't manage to beat Steve Bruce's Hull City side. It was Diam who got the only goal for Hull City. And what followed with Sheffield Wednesday? They tried again. This was their 2nd season they had under the new owner, Shansiri. The spending from Shansiri next year doesn't get much cheaper, still breaking £10 million in managing to spend for players. 5.9 million to get Adam Reach from Middlesbrough, managing to get 3.6 million to get Alman Abdi from Watford as well. Still, compared to all Championship clubs, spending over £10 million in a transfer window is very abnormal. And this happened in 2 consecutive seasons. The following season, they made it to the top 6 again, but they lost in the semi-finals eventually against Huddersfield Town. So that was obviously a huge disappointment, and they wanted to try again in the 17-18 season. Sheffield Wednesday weren't as convincing as they were. Carlos Carvajal left Sheffield Wednesday midway through the season to join Swansea City, who were in a relegation battle at that time. The following season, the spending doesn't even get any cheaper. 11.7 million just to get Jordan Rhodes from Middlesbrough. Now, great Championship player. If you've seen him for what he's done with Sheffield Wednesday at all, does he have anywhere close to that value of 11.7 million? No way, not anymore at least, unfortunately. Also, 15 million spent in that window, 15.2 million loss in the bank balance. And that has happened for 3 consecutive seasons. So in total, Shansiri has spent close to 50 million in 3 transfer windows in his first 3 seasons. Now, if you were to look at the transfer for 18-19 and pretty much from then onwards, Shansiri becomes very tight. And they've now got a new manager in charge, Josh Lukai, as well. Very strange appointment at the time. You know, obviously a pretty bloated squad. And Sheffield Wednesday did have some quality, but they were just completely underperforming. Josh Lukai left after disappointingly not really pushing Sheffield Wednesday up to the next level despite the work he has done in Bundesliga. Steve Bruce takes over and he only loses 3 games as Sheffield Wednesday manager, but he only lasts for 13 games after Newcastle come calling for him. Then we get Gary Monk. Now, Gary Monk managed to stay in Sheffield Wednesday manager for 18 months. He had a full season in the 1920 season. Of course, I know a little bit about that season. It's the first season I ever did on this channel. Sheffield Wednesday at the time looked like they were going to push for the top 6 once again. Then they had a massive drop-off. I think injuries didn't really help them. But they finished in a really disappointing position in the end. And it was really puzzling to say the least. And then what followed is that there were talks in around the second half of the 1920 season that things were going on off the field for Sheffield Wednesday. Following the obscene spending and then the sale of Hillsborough, etc., Chansiri has been done breaching financial fair play rules, and it followed with a 12-point deduction next season. So already Sheffield Wednesday are in the back foot really, because they're now really in a really precarious position. It was expected that it was going to be a very tumultuous season for Sheffield Wednesday, and that's exactly what has happened. 4 managers now, with them just appointing their 4th manager recently. What I want to show you with Sheffield Wednesday is the results. Now, the first result from Cardiff Sheffield Wednesday, you have to go all the way down to Sheffield Wednesday 0, Millwall 0 to get all the games that Gary Monk was in charge for in this season. And as you notice, Gary Monk manages to win 3 games, but unfortunately in those first 12 games, it puts Sheffield Wednesday in a very, very odd position. They were 23rd place in the table when Gary Monk was sacked from Sheffield Wednesday. It was such a shame really, because their points deduction was just halved a week before he was sacked as well. And they got 2 positive results following that. You know, they subdued Bournemouth to their first defeat of the season and getting a 0-0 draw against Millwall as well. I actually remember watching that game, and Sheffield Wednesday should have won that one. They definitely had way more chances. They had 7 shots on target to Millwall's 0 shots on target, so they definitely were the side asking all the questions. 4 days later, and this was during the international break as well, they get Tony Pulis in. Now, Tony Pulis, renowned for being very defensively robust, you know, making the side difficult to beat. Now, what followed from this, Sheffield Wednesday only won 1 game in only his 10 games in charge. He was sacked after 45 days, which is absolutely crazy. The only win they had under Tony Pulis was their 1-0 victory over Coventry. So to look at all of Tony Pulis' games, you're going to have to go from Preston 1, Wednesday 0, all the way scrolling down to Blackburn 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Those were all the games that Tony Pulis was in charge on. And there was a run of 4 straight defeats as well. And Chansiri quoted that results have just not deemed to be good enough, but there were also off the field issues. Clearly Pulis had a bit of a confrontation, and he has renowned to have confrontations with the owners as well. He wanted some sort of strategy to improve the squad. Probably Chansiri for the fact he has breached financial fair play, but also with the amount of money he has spent and due to the financial restrictions of the COVID-19 pandemic. That has probably what's caused all these tensions, and that is why Tony Pulis left. What happened there between the manager and the shareholder / owner is something I'm actually currently learning in accounting right now, and any chance for me to link what I'm currently studying in university, I'll say in this video. It's called an agency theory, which is a conflict of interest between the manager and a shareholder. Now, that doesn't need to be in a football-based business. It could be in any business, like a restaurant business or anything else, but I won't bore you on that. But that's exactly what happened. And unfortunately for Pulis, you know, 9 times out of 10, the shareholder / the owner gets to say. They know deep down how they want their funds to be distributed. They have the power. So Chansiri used that power to get rid of Pulis, and he gave, I quote, temporary charge to Neil Thompson as manager. And after this was about 12 or 13 games later that Neil Thompson was in charge. And it seemed to me that Chansiri was just happy for Neil Thompson to stay in charge. And they had some pretty good form, you know, straight away when he was in charge. They managed to win back-to-back games, and then they managed to win the following 3 games in their next 4 games as well. So Sheffield Wednesday looked to have all right runs of form, but then they had 4 straight defeats. And after this, that is when the change has been made. Darren Moore is now in charge of Sheffield Wednesday. So I'm actually going to show you the problems of Sheffield Wednesday. And what problems Sheffield Wednesday have this season has been a lack of goals. If you notice, Sheffield Wednesday have the joint least goals in the Championship, with only 23 goals being scored in 32 games, which is quite frankly appalling. And if you look at the shots per game, the second less shots per game, and actually apparently according to WhoScored.com, they actually have the least shots on target per 90 minutes. So clearly, goals and basically attack is a huge problem for Sheffield Wednesday. And I think that is why Shanseria has gone for a really different approach to what traditional owners want to make in appointing managers who want to try and get teams to survive. Because Darren Moore is a very different manager to managers who are designed to go in, to make teams difficult to beat, to take it by game, and to get a miracle run of form. Darren Moore as a manager, I do like. I like his style of football. It's a load of passing, you know, very free-flowing type of football. If it works in League One, you would expect the sides in League One, you know, to be really pushing for those top 6 or at least the promotion places. And he's done that with Doncaster. Doncaster currently sit in the top 6 with currently a couple of games in hand as well. But they had a run of 4 defeats in their last 5. And maybe this sort of developments was maybe playing on Darren Moore's mind a little bit. You don't know, of course, we don't know how long these talks have been going on for. But it was just literally the whole thing came out of the blue. We'll see Sheffield Wednesday's reaction to his appointment now. So Sheffield Wednesday are delighted to announce the appointment of Darren Moore as our first team manager. So they just talk about his CV, and they mentioned that they were a little bit surprised when West Brom parted ways with him. Now, I am not surprised. The reason of that is that I literally relate this to the Jason Tindall situation. Because at that time, West Brom were just relegated. They have parachute year 1 payments, which basically means you get financial backing, and it helps with teams with a financial contrast between the 2 divisions. If you cannot get promoted with a year 1 parachute payment, 9 times out of 10, the owner's going to sack the manager. And that's exactly what happened with Tindall, and that's exactly what happened with Darren Moore. He's a bit unlucky because in that same season, it was a season where Norwich was scoring so many goals. It was when we had this tough Sheffield United side, and we also had that free-throwing Leeds United side as well. So Darren Moore was a bit unlucky that West Brom had that, but he had Harvey Barnes, Jay Rodriguez, Dwight Gale, and he couldn't put them in the top 2. So unfortunately, I think his sacking was justified after that 1-1 draw against really poor Ipswich in that season. Funnily enough, he actually leads Doncaster with his final game playing against Ipswich as well. So he definitely does not like Ipswich. And actually, speaking of Ipswich, a manager that was linked with Sheffield Wednesday previously has previously just joined Ipswich as their manager, Paul Cook. I won't talk a lot about this because I don't know too much about what's going on. I know they've had a new takeover. Paul Lambert's left and Paul Cook is in. So that is my overall reaction. Fantastic appointment from Ipswich. But let's move back to Sheffield Wednesday. So overall, a good reaction really. I think it will definitely improve the camp. It may even boost results as well. Let's see what Doncaster had to say about this, because I'm going to be intrigued to see what they say. Following the departure of Darren Moore to Sheffield Wednesday, Doncaster Rovers can confirm that Andy Butler has been put in charge of managing the first team with immediate effect. Chairman David Blunt said, "We are disappointed that Darren has chosen to leave the club partway through for what has been a season full of promise." I mean, they've been really unlucky, Doncaster. Of course, they lost Ben Whiteman in the transfer window as well, joining Preston North End. We made significant efforts to support Darren over the past 18 months and ensure that he was able to put a team capable of challenging in the top 6. This has included supporting him through the past 2 transfer windows, despite the difficult financial circumstances, of course, of the global pandemic. And then they talk about their ambitions to achieve in the top 6. And the overall tone is really salty. You know, they're not happy with Darren Moore leaving, you know, that quickly, especially not really saying anything as well. So he could be made to look out a bit of a snake for Doncaster, but hopefully it'll be a fantastic appointment on his part. But he has admitted keeping Sheffield Wednesday up will be difficult, because what I'll show you now is their next couple of fixtures. And let me tell you, they're not that easy. They've got a Yorkshire derby tomorrow against Rotherham, and Darren Moore will be in charge of that game. He's already had a couple of training sessions with Sheffield Wednesday. Then they've got Reading, followed by Norwich. Both of these games will be very difficult for Sheffield Wednesday to get 3 points in. Huddersfield will be a big game, another Yorkshire club where if they get a good result in, then maybe Sheffield Wednesday could save themselves. Barnsley won't be easy. Watford especially won't be easy. Cardiff won't be easy. Queen's Park Rangers with their form won't be easy. Bristol City with their new manager, their new managerial bounds won't be easy. Blackburn won't be easy. Middlesbrough, Nottingham Forest, and then Derby. They don't have a very easy games. If I look in their final 14 games now, how many wins do I currently see jumping out at me? I mean, I see Rotherham and Huddersfield being 2 must-wins. If they can't win either one of those games, then I think Sheffield Wednesday will get relegated, in my honest opinion there. Maybe Blackburn could be a chance for them. Middlesbrough, you don't know. You know, they could definitely pull off a performance. I don't see many winnable games left for Sheffield Wednesday, so it's not going to be an easy job for Darren Moore. But I do like his managerial style. He's still a bit young in the managerial game, and it's a little bit of a risk, but I do think in the long-term future, it's good for Sheffield Wednesday fans to finally see something that looks like that Shinsu is going to back. Even if Sheffield Wednesday do get relegated, which could be a possibility. This is what the current table looks like at the moment. Sheffield Wednesday are currently 23rd place, 6 points off Birmingham with a game in hand, of course. And bear in mind, without their points deduction, they'll be outside of a relegation zone, but only on goal difference. So it's not like that points deduction is really going to be the only reason that's putting them down. As I said previously with their stats, with how poor they've been in front of goal, they collectively have not been good enough. So it's going to be a real test for Darren Moore to see if he can push this Sheffield Wednesday side out of the poor predicament that they find themselves. But my overall reaction with the appointment, I think it's a good one for Sheffield Wednesday. Even if they go down to League One, I think he can definitely build something really, really good with that Sheffield Wednesday side. I can definitely see him as a future manager being a great appointment for the club. But that is my overall reaction with Darren Moore becoming the new manager. This didn't turn out to be a shorter video than I thought, but we covered a lot with Sheffield Wednesday. If you learned anything today from this video and you want to see more of these videos, please make sure you do give this video a like. It's tremendously appreciated. Let me know of your reaction to Darren Moore coming into Sheffield Wednesday in the comments down below. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, although that would really, really make my day as well. We want to push to 500 subscribers. And please share my channel to as many people as you can, although it would really make my day. But thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary if you saw the end of this video. And as always, take care, everyone.